By the end of this presentation, you Americans will be able to write your way into what you call the Independence Day or 4th of July. You have to now, till the 4th of July, to set yourself correct as well as set your affairs in order. So, I will give you the knowledge to be able to do that. But just as I take responsibility for those things that I do, it is you that needs to take responsibility for what you do. As a plenipotentiary judge, I am sharing this information with the entire globe. More so with the Americans because that's where most of my student base is. But this is universal. The first slide that you saw was the 4th of July and its true meaning, Independence Day. Before I go on to that, I want to revisit what I released on last Thursday, and what I released a few hours ago in preparation for this life-changing broadcast. And what I'm going to revisit is what the Supreme means, and what super means, and what Superman means, and etc. Are we on the slides at the moment? Okay. The image that you are seeing at this moment is Independence Day. And I want you to fix your memory and your feelings and the images in your mind as to what this means to you as Americans going through the hardship that you are at the moment. Fix that in your mind while I move on to what the word supreme means. You know, looking at the slide now, and from my other two presentations, that super actually means superficial. Existing or concurring at or on the surface. It's a veneer, like lipstick, mascara. Appearing to be true, appearing, to be true or real, only until examined more closely. When you examine it much more closely, by, for example, stopping for a second and examining it for what it is, it reveals itself to be superficial. That much you learnt from Thursday and a few hours ago, which is absolutely critical for you to get the length and breadth, the explanatory reach that this presentation aims to achieve. The next slide that you are seeing, Man and Superman, a very famous book, entire psychology, philosophy, ideological, as well as religious men and women are tried to achieve. The word Superman is you, if you follow such a discipline, Bernard Shaw, Nietzsche, and all of those, what you have now come to understand as being scholastic wankers, masturbators. And I'm speaking as a plenipotentiary judge. Now that you know this, ladies and gentlemen, that you have been given 100% proof on first presentation Thursday, as well as another 100% proof, the one that was just released a few hours ago, and now that I'm giving it to you for the third time with a variety of more examples. Makes it 300%. 3 strikes and you're out is the rule in a courtroom, in a game field, in a chess match, or whatever it is. You are struck out. So my question to you Americans out there is, when the Supreme Court makes a decision on the most important things in life, what is it that they are saying to you? They are saying that we are making superficial decisions based upon superficial findings, and that we ourselves as the Supreme Courts all over the world, including Supreme Courts, Supremo Courts, and a variety of these, what we have now come to understand as being bullshit words, like the bullshit jobs that are created by these superficial people. The Supreme Court, ladies and gentlemen, in your country and in America, is a superficial organization dealing with superficial matters. What do you think the word supremo means? It means supreme, superficial motion. What do you think the word supreme God means? It means God of superficiality. It all means one thing, ladies and gentlemen, one thing only. It's all superficial. All of it is superficial nonsense. We are now going to the next slide. Now that you know that the Supreme Court in every country in the world is a superficial court, I call on every American to pick up their pen, and let them know what you really are thinking of them, and that the game is over. I am calling upon every American to sack them with the use of a pen and your creator's seal called your thumbprint or fingerprint. Now that the whole world is listening to me as a plenipotentiary judge, I have educated not only the Supreme Court that you are nothing more than superficiality, bums as you Americans would call them. I've educated the entire world, the politicians, as to what that is, and walked you through the misprision war, the misprision rule of treason and felony. Every man or woman is now duty bound to pick up that pen and sack that Supreme Court. You are duty bound, because I have proven 100%, time and time again, adding up to more than 100%. In other words, the findings are so overwhelming that they are superficial. It goes beyond 100%. Sack them worldwide. Pick up your pen and sack them. Remember, the sheriffs, the police, the securities, the politicians, the actors, the Bollywoods and the Hollywoods all work for superficial men and women doing superficial things, including the BBC and all of those bullshit media companies openly practicing superficiality. And in those rare moments when they have something to say, even then it is nothing more than masturbation on its seeping levels. Treat them exactly for what they are. the supreme courts of this world that they are bums, and any sheriffs, police officers, security guards, politicians working for these bums are practicing treason on the people. Once again, I call upon Americans and every man and woman on this planet to pick up their pen and sack their Supreme Court or any other courts, because they are all working in superficiality. The legal definition, ladies and gentlemen, for superficiality, yes, it's a legal term. Legal definition of word superficial, it's an adjective, which is what is known as coloring of the law. Historically, designating the right to use the surface of another's land for buildings or other purposes, of or relating to superficially, compare superficial. What they basically are saying in Shakespearean language is that the buildings called homes, houses, dwellings are nothing more than superficial units on somebody else's lands. And the Supreme Court, a superficial organization, the bums that you are bums, you Supreme Court so-called judges. You may ask yourself, Americans, South Africa, Europeans, or people of Europa, although you look very, very good in those movies as Wonder Woman, and believe me, as a child, I fell for it many a times. They are using this type of language to educate you on the subconscious level to keep you in superficiality. They have the audacity to tell you that your homes are superficial buildings on somebody else's lands. And I've already revealed who these people they think they are, until I had to take over the position of to have and to hold, for the purposes of safeguarding it for the people of this planet, this earth, this world. Now that we have examined that one simple word in a million words that is in their superficial dictionaries, we're going to go on to and look at this word Independence Day. The 4th of July, which so many Americans throughout the world and every single embassy of the Americans celebrate as a victorious moment when they had so-called independence from the English, a tyrannical organization calling itself English. At a later stage, ladies and gentlemen, not now, on another presentation, I will tell you an Englishman has got nothing to do with race. The consequences also will be as shocking as this presentation. So we are now going to revisit what I said to you previously. The day of reckoning, the 4th of July. That'll be just over 30 days from now. What does independence mean? What images does it conjure up for you? The images that are not generated by you or the facts, but are generated by movie makers and historical masturbators that lied to you openly. It is an incredible thing to say that you have been lied to that level and that extent. Why wouldn't they? Your Supreme Court is openly practicing superficiality. Listen to me very carefully what I'm about to share with you. I'm going to open the dark secrets that is within Pandora's box, where they have locked you in with all potentiality, but the use of the pen still beguiles you. Independence Day. We know from the previous presentations, IN as a prefix in front of a word, like incompetence, means to be incomplete, like hiring an incompetent bricklayer, an incompetent solicitor, another word for prostitute, as in soliciting. When you remove this word, IN, from this word complete or incompetence, you are left with what? By logic and logic alone, what are you left with? You are left with the word competence, to be competent, which is a complement. But by just adding that IN into that word, I have turned it 180 degrees to the opposite of what it is, saying to you that you are the opposite of a competent man or a woman, what they call incompetent. We've understood the prefix IN in incompetence. Now we're going to move on to the second prefix of DE within the word Independence Day. DE, ladies and gentlemen, means no or none, as in decapitated. Decapitated. Decapitated means that you have lost your head. Your head has been removed from your shoulders. A form of execution, shall we say. If I said to you that I'm going through a detox program, I'm saying to you, I'm detoxifying my body, removing the toxicity in my body, detoxification. By simply adding that word in, I am removing the word toxicity from it, a negative expression. So we know, and we have evidence now, 100% the word DE means no, as in decapitate, detox. Demoralize is another word. When you demoralize a man or a woman, you remove their morals, and they feel naked, and they feel vulnerable. Some part of their core being, part of their core creation, has been compromised. You have seen demoralized people. It is not a pretty sight. So we have 3 strikes of DE of the second prefix in the word independent, showing you that it means no. Capital, ladies and gentlemen, for your knowledge, means your head. Always has been. And for you businessmen that are out there, capital has got nothing to do with money. Capitalism is about what? It's about using your head. The superficial media will tell you you have to raise capital and give you the assumption it's money. You must raise your level of knowledge and education to enter the world of business. because you're going to be busy. So you now have 300% evidence, and I can take it to 10,000%, but that will take all day. You now have 300%, 3 strikes, and you know that the word DE of the second prefix in the word independent means no. IN means no, DE means no. We've understood this. Now, let me ask you to revisit the image that you have of what is Independence Day. So it is no, something called pen, and something called pending. Hopefully that image is now compromised in your mind, and that is called a purge. I am purging the images that were put inside of your brain for a horrid purpose. You see, you have a spirit within you. You have a spirit, and that spirit knows these words. So when it hears it hears the word no, no. DE means no, IN means no. Demoralized means no. Amoral means no morals. Am I going too fast or too slow? Let me say it again. If I said to you, you are amoral, the definition of that is that you lack morality. If I said to you, you are immoral, that too would give you 100% evidence that you are lacking morality. If I said to you, you are demoralized, that would also give you 300% evidence that you lack morality. And your spirit, ladies and gentlemen, your spirit, as in Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, knows this. It knows this. We're now moving to the next slide. And we haven't quite finished yet. There is a universal law amongst all creatures of law, men and women, etc., that equal things can make joinder with other equal things. Men and women can make joinder. Men and men can make joinder. Corporation can make joinder with another corporation, but it cannot make a joinder with a man. It can service man for its benefit, but it cannot. It can only make joinder, or what is known as contract or agreements, with a like for like. It's called like for like. Corporation with another corporation. If it's a man, an autograph thumbprint. If it's a corporation, a signature and an artificial seal, an artifact, a superficiality, like the supreme courts of this entire planet. You pieces of dog feces, you are dog feces on man's shoes. And I'm going to deal with you in ways that you are beyond your understanding because you lack creativity, you bums. So, in biology, and I'm just giving you another example, in biology this is called gene integrity. So the gene does not become compromised by mutating itself. Mutation is a corporate word. Corporations mutate. Evolution is a corporate word. Corporations evolve. Men and women are men and women. It looks like somebody's playing a game to remove your position on this planet. this earth, this world, this globe as a man or a woman. Because if they can get you and walking and talking like a corporation, then they can make joinder with you. Hence you call your wife your partner, your spouse your partner. Partner is a legal definition of a business entity. In biology, we also call that cross-species barrier. So a dog doesn't accidentally copulate with a cat and you got a cat dog. You understand? But why? But corporations would love to do that. They spend billions of your money trying to perform that. The sex operation industry is about the mutilation of men and women. And because there are so many weak men and women who cannot live with their sex and live with what they are and who they are, they would reach for artificiality and superficiality. Unfortunately, a condition also known as human. Human is also a corporate word. We're now back, ladies and gentlemen, with this word called Independence Day. And we are now getting to the root word. That is the word which has the most explanatory reach, like the roots of a tree. They are known as root words. And within that root word, we see this pen. This pen. And pen, ladies and gentlemen, means to write. Quite literally. The instrument of writing. As in a writ. Which is a legal instrument that you would pen. Not scribe. Or script. Because that means copying. I do beg your pardon if I sometimes may overwhelm you with so many facts. I will try to rail it in a little bit. So, somebody, the creators of your language, perhaps it's those ones in the Bible when they said, let us go forth and confuse them, so they may not construct and see our likeness. It looks like men and women, not supernatural beings, because what does supernatural mean? Superficial beings, which is another word for a corporation, like McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Somebody doesn't want you to pick up a pen. Somebody doesn't want your spirit to pick up a pen. Because we have that wonderful word, don't we? By that very pernicious character calling itself Winston Churchill, saying the pen is mightier than the sword. You see, telling you the lie and the truth at the same time. Telling you the lie and the truth at the same time. The pen, ladies and gentlemen, truly is mightier than the sword. And with that pen, you can start wars or end wars, or sack that Supreme Court in every single country in the world. Just by the knowledge that I have given. And as a plenipotentiary judge, they are all on duty to listen to me. So you bums, practitioners of superficiality, my. You know what happens when I have these strong feelings, don't you? You have felt it, and you'll feel it again. The root word, ladies and gentlemen, of pen is also means weigh, as in weigh bridge, something that has weight. So when you put your autograph using a pen, it carries the entire weight of your body on this planet, on this earth, this world, this globe. That's why we call it an autograph, which means an autonomy of a graph, the graph of your autonomy. You see, you can read that backwards and forward and sideways. It'll always mean the same thing. Autograph, a graph of your autonomy. Autograph, autonomous graph. You are autonomous with authority. Your pen has a great deal of weight. And somebody out there, we know who now, are very frightened that you may understand the weight of a pen. We're now on the next side. This is called the suffix in Independence Day. Dence, D-E-N-C-E. That is the suffix of the word. How you pronounce it can also vary, hence the word spelling. Phonetics, the sound of a word. We have the meaning of what dance means. And I'll read it for you. Don't read it yourself, because that can add lack of synchronicity. I will read it for you, and then you do what you want with it. It comes up as rarity, thickness, condition of being not dense. From French, looseness, texture, fewness, rare, sense of rare thing or event, thing valued for its scarcity or unusual excellence in some form. It's giving you the direct opposite. 1 minute, it's thinness. Next minute, it's porous. A condition of not dense. It's giving you the direct opposite on the second definition. Somebody's playing some game. So what are we to understand, comprehend, be cognizant of what this word dance means? D-E-N-C-E. In the Urban Dictionary, ladies and gentlemen, it is to mean to be stupid, to have holes inside of you, to look like a dunce, a mug, as in mugging, a mugging or a man or a woman, mugging an old lady. I looked up the word dunce, which is a change of the prefix, the change of a vowel. The E turns into a U, and I'll go slow. These vowels, ladies and gentlemen, control quite a lot, are part of your biology. They're called vowels. There are only 5 in the language that I'm speaking. A, E, I, O, U. The 5 vowels. They are the constitutional parts of your speech that allow meaning to come through. The word dunce is a person, which is corporate, who is slow at learning, a stupid person. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, it either comes up as something favorable or unfavorable. Let's imagine that it had the ability of being favorable, that it carried some weight. So, we're now back at the word of Independence Day. What does the word independence now actually mean to you? If we read it from left to right, it means no. I-N means no. D-E means no. And P-E-N means pen. Pen is mightier than a sword. And dunce. We can take that as being on the first definition of something to be desirable with. Sorry, the second definition is something to be having desirable qualities, and other definitions is the direct opposite. Where have we heard that side of language before? Meaning one thing and saying another. That's called mendacity. 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 Somebody is claiming and playing mendacity on you. So, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like when the English played so tyrannical with the Americans, it looks like they set them up so they may never pick up a pen and write their way through life, as in les pendings, which is LIS space pendings, PEND. You see, it looks like they know the pen is mightier than the sword. They know with the stroke of a pen you can sack the Supreme Court or any politician or any sort. They're all bloody superficial actors. Bums is all that they are. And they have been using the American people to set sheriffs on them, to set politicians, security guards, false language, beatings, terrorism, paper terrorism. I'm calling upon the Americans to go and arrest your sheriffs for treason. What choice do you have? I've proved to you they are following the orders of superficial people. You are duty bound to go and arrest them. Have you ever wondered, ladies and gentlemen, why men with guns or people with guns want to take your guns away? Have you ever wondered? It is a genuine question. Have you ever wondered why would men with guns want to take away your guns? Check your media. You'll find there's quite a lot of storytelling going on to remove your guns, as if to say they are unsafe in your hands. And 20, 30 years later, when you find out those things that were reported are actually fake actors, stage performances of shootings and etc. Americans, you are thousands of times more powerful than you know. Bickering, lying, cheating will only put you in the superficial category of things. We can now look at this word called day. What does day mean? Day means when the sun is above the horizon. When the sun is above the horizon, that's called a day. And that is what they want to take away from you. They want to take away that day when you are able to put your pen to paper. You see, what I have revealed and what I am showing to you is the darkest forms of hypnosis. And I am sorry to say that you Americans and so much of the world's population is actually in a hypnotic state, a semi-dream state. This is why they were able to sell death pledges to you, called mortgages. This is why they were able to convince you the Supreme Court is by connotation something so very powerful, when I likened them to dog feces on my shoe, which just requires wiping off. You see, That event horizon, that day that you pick up your pen, means that they are dealing with men and women. And in law, only equal things can make contract with other equal things. The Supreme Court is part of an underworld of the dead. And they are looking for life because they got no life of their own. No sheriff has his own life. No soldier has it. No politician has it. No banker has it. They are looking for it in yourself. What that means, ladies and gentlemen, repeating myself, I've actually traveled. As I am speaking to you now, I am speaking to you in your dream state. I think it was George Carling that said, you would have to be the American dream, he said, the American dream, that's all it is, because you would have to be asleep to believe in the American dream. That event horizon, the horizon, that moment, that corona, that beautiful thing that rises every day at one corner of the planet, of the earth, the globe, is this day, the day of your reckoning, the day of the reckoning of the world of fiction. If I have not made it clear, I am actually speaking to you in your dream hypnotic state, in your trance state. And there I have traveled as a plenipotentiary judge to educate you enough, to educate you far enough where I can reach in and snap those fingers to wake you up, just as the hypnotist would do. The whole world, you need to snap out of your days of light darkness, of stupidity, of media manipulation, and etc. That day is now. And from this point to 2 weeks, you can visit my website and understand what it is to pick up a pen and put your thoughts and sack your Supreme Court, because it's the Supreme Court, the superficial court, that gives power to the superficial politicians, which you in turn, in your hypnotic state, in your trance state, have given your power to. You see, when you are being lied to, and you live out that lie on the false promises of these bankers, politicians, Supreme Courts, you're actually in a trance state, because anybody that believes a lie, like evolution, like adaptation, and I know these are very strong words which you may resist because you have been programmed to believe that is so true. But you do your research, 30 seconds of which you will qualify it for yourself. You see, ladies and gentlemen, what are the things that you have to ask? If I, in that time of the Civil War, sorry, I beg your pardon, not the Civil War, the War for Independence in America, if I was an Englishman, and by the way, I am an Englishman, if I was an Englishman and I owned the colonies, what grand plan would I come up with to be able to rob you of your freedoms, which are innate in you, which are within you? That you yourself are so desperately fighting to run away from the tyranny of the English. What game plan with my think tanks would I come up with to rob you of that? Well, one of them, ladies and gentlemen, is to give you a champion that works for this Englishman. And you might call it Washington, D.C., Washington, or whatever his names are, and all of these pathetic names that these half-witted soldiers go by, like Nelson Mandela, Gandhi. And you have so many of those people that you hero worship in your trance state. That's one. Next one is I'll replace the word freedom, which means the dominion of your free. The dominion of freedom. That's what D-O-M means. It means dominion, as in kingdom. Kingdom means the dominion of a king, which is a legal fiction name. I would give you the word independence, because I am highly devious, manipulative, and tyrannical. And I have learned to use word plays to hypnotize you. You can be hypnotized by words and symbols as well as music. You see, all your life, ladies and gentlemen, you have been walking and talking, which is called verbal contract. Walking, i.e. you're moving from one point to another to make these verbal contracts, to constantly sign away and prove to the superficial government, the superficial Supreme Court, that you are just as superficial as they are. A moment. They desperately, the Supreme Court, the politicians, the bankers, they desperately need you to be as superficial as they are to contract with you. Because in law, you can only contract with equal things. Let not unequal things make joinder. That's universal. Now you know what an Englishman is capable of. And you Americans need to set yourself and to be able to pen your contracts. You need to be able to express your terms and conditions. You need to understand the value of paper, pen to paper, taught to pen, pen to paper. Remember these points, ladies and gentlemen. What does schooling mean? De-schooling. If I said to you, I'm going to deprogram you, which I believe I have done so, which I have faith I have done so. Belief is a corporate instrument. It's a superficial word. When you send your children to school, you're schooling them. But if you was to de-school them as I am de-schooling you now, through the use of these prefixes, the root words and the suffixes, I am de-skilling you, a negative expression. I am furthering your schooling by replacing the poison with that which is healthy. That's another example of what DE means. If I said to you, I have a spirit inside of me, what have I actually said to you? And these are genuine questions for me to check the integrity of your comprehension, of your cognizance, of your volition of thinking, of the spirit of the game. What is it that I'm saying? That I have a spirit inside. Inside. What are the images that you have in your brain? Something inside of me like a heart? How can it possibly be? when you know the word in means no. When it's joined with another word as a prefix, it means no. And you know when I said, hey, that football is on your left side. Hey, that can of beer is on your right side. Hey, that television is in front of your side. That you have a backside. Where does that word ever imply that it is internal, which itself is a poisonous word? Internal. By logic and logic alone, I have shown you that inside is the very direct opposite, because something that is side of you, like a side road, is not the road. That's in your face. When you have so many of these words, and it is only these two words, just those two words, DE, that I am working on, and IN, out of all the thousands that these superficial Supreme Courts and the dictionary makers have been openly masturbating in front of you, hoping to believe, get you to believe as a corporate instrument that what they are doing is making love, judicating. The Supreme Courts of this world, you are dog feces upon man's shoe. If I said to you, what an incredible insight I have given to you, and what incredible insights you commentary people make in the commentary section, what have I just said to you? Insight. What insightful things you say. What have I just said to you? I have said to you, you have no sight. Your spirit knows this. And because your spirit is in control so much of your body and your neural network, your central processing unit, your brain, the language with your fellow man, it knows this. And it gives you no sight. And it gives you no intuition, because intuition means no tutor. Your spirit is unable to perform tuition with you, for you. It is unable to tutor you. You see, the Supreme Court and the dictionary makers know how this hypnotic state works, and they think they can get away with it. David Wayne Miller taught us passe, syntax, grammar. I am giving you a small facet of his knowledge, because I am not the creator of this. David Wayne Miller was. For this knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, he was attacked day and night, infiltrated by such vile things. But then you know this, because what lengths would these fiction people go to hush a man, I should say, before he reveals all of these hypnotic states. The pen is so mighty, ladies and gentlemen, it can stop a nuclear missile coming to you in its tracks. Quite literally. For all those professors out there that openly defend their pathetic language and have so many PhDs and so on and so forth, what would a superego now mean to you? What would Nietzsche mean now to you? What would George Bernard Shaw mean to you now? What does superego mean? It's a superficial ego. What do you think ego was to begin with? Superficial. You now know that the Supreme Court in your countries, and it is yours, deals with the constitutions of your country. So I'm going to ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to ask you a question. If the Supreme Court is the one that makes decisions as to what the Constitution is, as in the USA Constitution, or any other constitution, Irish, South African, European, what does that Constitution mean? If you know, let equal things make joinder, let not unequal things make joinder. They have just told you that the United States of American Constitution is a superficial document penned by not you did not pen it, by an Englishman. That's the length that they would go to rob you of the use of the pen. Because this pen, ladies and gentlemen, once you know how to use it and formulate your contracts, is so powerful. You now tell the nation, the Supreme Court, what to do. I hope I have made it very clear, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I've made it very, very clear that the constitutions that you have been relying upon were penned by the very enemies that you were fighting against. In a very pernicious way, they learned to lie to you and put you to a sleep, where you actually went around thinking the Supreme Court is somehow the supreme law of the land. It is the most superficial of organizations. And for the third, if not the fourth or 100th time, I liken them to dog feces on my shoe. Not on my shoe, because they are not equal to me. It's difficult for them to make joinder with me because I sit above them. And so does every man and woman that has understood the message that I have delivered, and that David Wayne Miller gave his life bringing this message to you. And I have safeguarded it, and I propagate it for the world's population and knowledge. If you Americans and the world at large wants to learn these things, study my website. Study it. For those people that wish to email me, has something to offer. Yes, add value to it. Study my website and you will have enough knowledge to be able to do it. That's free source. For those people that wish to pen it a little bit earlier, they can educate themselves. And it's all listed on my website. Just as I have added value to David Wayne Miller's technology, just as I have now added a value to every person, every man and woman. Did you see that Freudian slip? This is how deep the programming is for me to accidentally call you people, persons, which is corporate. In this corona period, which is the event horizon that all of you have been waiting for, that moment of light, that moment of joy, is here, and it is waiting for you to comprehend it. Spend time studying my website. Okay? Now that I've told you what I am, I wish to also tell you what I'm not. I am not your savior. For those people that are looking for savior, go somewhere else. For those people that want to do things, pick up a pen, put their thoughts on paper, and take responsibility for it. You can do that by listening and re-listening to what I am saying, as well as visit my website. You see, ladies and gentlemen, There is a saying amongst successful people: the best start now, with the things that they have at hand, with the friends that they have. The best always start now. Thank you very much for listening to me. I hope that this message has got to you clearly as I can possibly deliver it. That you are duty bound to sack the Supreme Courts in your land practicing superficiality. As a plenipotentiary judge, to all the Supreme Court judges, their staffs and the clerks, the politicians, you are all under the penalty of perjury. You stand under the penalty of perjury on a level plane. You have no immunity, foreign immunity, or on a different plane. When a man or a woman asks you a question, puts their autograph and thumbprint, fingerprint on it, you will answer their questions. You will answer their questions. The consequences of failure is that you give back everything, all the monies that you made, everything, and you step down and publicly, on television, on newspaper, on the open networks, tell everybody that you are nothing more than superficial people, pretending to be something other than what you are. Minnows pretending to be sharks. Sharks pretending to be whales. Stupid people pretending to be geniuses. The pen is in your hands, and that pen is mightier than the sword. Thank you for listening to me. I wish you all the best. Until next time, good night, good day, good morning, good afternoon.